Hi, Odyssey Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain a comedy drama movie named Poor Things. A girl wearing a blue dress stands at the edge of a bridge and then falls freely. The image changes to black and white, and we see a piano. A girl named Bella Baxter clumsily plays the piano keys with her hands and feet while a man named Godwin Baxter, who has a deformed face, watches her. At lunchtime, Bella eats using her hands and doesn't like the food, so she spits it out like a picky child. After eating, Godwin kisses Bella on the forehead and leaves for work. Bella awkwardly follows him, calling him Papa. Godwin, who is one of the top doctors in London, teaches his students, but many of them are more focused on his looks than his lessons. Among the students, only a young guy named Max admires the surgeon, whose father established the place. Godwin sees Max's hard work and asks him to help with a project. When they return home, Bella breaks dishes for fun, and when Godwin arrives, she happily jumps on him. Instead of shaking hands, she accidentally punches Max in the nose. Understanding Max's confusion, Godwin clarifies that the girl is currently recuperating from a brain injury. Despite her age, her mental development is now comparable to that of a 2-year-old. Godwin proposes that Max should observe Bella and document her progress, to which Max enthusiastically agrees. The following day, Max diligently shadows Bella, taking notes on her activities, including her meals and the number of words she learns each day. One evening, while reading Bella a bedtime story, Godwin shares with her that he adopted her after her parents passed away in South America. This piques Bella's curiosity about the world beyond, and she eagerly examines maps with Max. Desiring to see more, Bella climbs the stairs to gaze out over the city. Astonished by the view, Bella becomes upset and insists on going for a walk. Although reluctant, Godwin eventually agrees. They journey to the countryside in a motorized carriage, and Bella delights in playing among the leaves, as she has never experienced such things before. During their picnic, Godwin shares the reason behind his disfigured appearance. He reveals that his father used to conduct experiments on him in an attempt to understand the workings of the human body. On their way back home, Bella insists on another stroll in the city. When Godwin refuses, she becomes aggressive towards him, but he quickly soothes her by using chloroform. After putting Bella to bed, Max searches through the doctor's office and discovers documents related to the experiment conducted on Bella. Realizing that there's no use in hiding anymore, Godwin decides to come clean and reveals everything. He recounts how he once found the body of a pregnant woman on the riverbank. Seizing an opportunity, he performed a risky procedure where he transplanted the brain of a still-living child into the mother's body and brought this creature back to life. This is why Bella behaves like a child. The next day, Bella finally experiences the changes of puberty and tries to comfort the maid in a different way. However, Max explains to her that it's not appropriate. Later on, Godwin and Max discuss the situation, and the doctor suggests that Max take on a more responsible role in Bella's life. Max is really shocked because he thought the doctor wanted to keep Bella for himself. But then Godwin tells Max that he also had problems with his body because of his dad's experiments. And Godwin's feelings for Bella are more like a dad's feelings. Max asks Bella to marry him, and Bella is super happy because she can't wait to be able to touch Max once they're married. She says yes. To sort out the paperwork, Godwin asks a lawyer named Duncan Wedderburn to come over. While the doctor checks over the prenup, Duncan pretends he needs to use the bathroom but instead starts snooping around the house to find the bride. Duncan is known for breaking hearts, and he easily wins over the unsuspecting girl. Later that night, he sneaks onto Bella's balcony and suggests meeting on the roof. There, he tricks her into believing he'll rescue her from the house and take her on an adventure. Bella quickly goes to Godwin and tells him she's planning to run away soon. The doctor tries to convince her otherwise, but she's determined. While she's getting ready to leave, Max comes into the room and says he won't let her go, but Bella calms him down by using a handkerchief with chloroform. Soon after, Godwin shows up and sews some emergency money into the hem of her dress. He kisses her on the forehead and allows her to leave. The story takes a lively turn and heads to Lisbon. Bella and Duncan visit restaurants where Bella tries fancy foods for the first time, but mostly they engage in what Bella calls furious jumps. One day, Duncan falls asleep from exhaustion after all the passionate encounters, and Bella takes the opportunity to explore the city on her own. She enjoys it a lot and feels really happy. After eating too many pastries, she heads back to the hotel. While Bella is away, Duncan becomes increasingly anxious about her disappearance and paces nervously around the room. When she returns, he expresses his concern and asks her not to wander off alone again. The couple then goes to a restaurant to meet with Duncan's clients. Bella embarrasses Duncan in various ways, including spitting out food and attempting to hit a screaming child at a nearby table. Duncan has to pull her aside and explain proper behavior to her. Later, in the hotel lobby, they encounter a woman who addresses Bella as Victoria, but Bella denies it, saying the woman is mistaken. The following day, the couple returns to a restaurant, where Bella hears music for the first time and gets carried away with a wild dance. Duncan joins her, but their dance turns into a fight when another man winks at Bella. Back at the hotel, Duncan notices another man's signature on Bella's thighs and realizes she has run away again. He understands that he can't control her fiery temper, so he devises a plan. In the morning, Duncan proposes a game where Bella has to hide in a trunk. However, a few hours later, Bella finds herself on a cruise ship, realizing she can't escape anymore. Meanwhile, in London, Godwin faints during a lecture. When he wakes up, he claims he had too much alcohol the previous night. Aware that his time is limited, he asks Max to find a body. With Max's help, they bring another girl named Felicity back to life, but her progress is much slower compared to Bella's. Still feeling angry at Duncan for taking her away, Bella refuses to engage in passionate encounters anymore. Instead, she spends her time reading, slowly learning new words and gaining knowledge. On the cruise ship, she meets two passengers, Martha, a direct and honest woman, and Harry, a cynical person. Bella confides in them about Duncan and how she sometimes wishes she could throw him overboard. Their conversation is cut short when Duncan appears and takes Bella away. He proposes marriage to her, but she reminds him that she's already engaged to Max. Bella starts spending a lot of time with her new friends, engaging in deep conversations about complex philosophical topics, which clearly bothers Duncan. Unhappy that Bella is no longer the naive girl he once knew, he throws her books overboard in frustration, but soon realizes it's pointless and heads to the casino. At one point, Duncan even theatrically tries to throw Martha overboard, but he's quickly stopped. Troubled by philosophical ideas, Bella seeks solace in Harry's room, where she challenges his belief that all humans are inherently cruel animals. Instead of arguing, Harry simply suggests taking a walk in Alexandria. From the balcony of an upscale restaurant, Harry points out a poverty-stricken area where people are struggling to survive. This sight deeply affects Bella, causing her to consider jumping down the stairs to help them, but Harry prevents her from doing so. When she returns to the ship, she finds Duncan heavily intoxicated and having won a large amount of money at the casino. Bella hastily collects the money with the intention of donating it to charity. However, as she tries to leave, sailors inform her that the ship is departing. They assure her they will give the money to the poor, and Bella, trusting them, reluctantly agrees. Back in their cabin, Bella informs Harry that she has given all the money to those in need, which angers him. Shortly after, the captain arrives and discovers that they are now without funds. He instructs them to leave the ship at the nearest port. They find themselves in Paris, and Bella, unaccustomed to worrying about financial matters, volunteers to find a hotel where they can stay for free. Her search leads her to a brothel, where an older woman offers her the opportunity to earn some money, and Bella reluctantly agrees. After earning money and feeling disappointed by the realization that not all men are as satisfying in bed as Duncan, Bella returns to him with a bag of eclairs. When Duncan learns how she earned the pastries, he becomes furious and says it's the worst thing she could have done. Convinced that Duncan doesn't share her desire for experimentation, Bella decides to use her father's money to buy him a ticket home. However, Duncan snatches the money and leaves. After some contemplation, Bella resolves to return to the brothel with the firm intention of finding work there. She is warmly welcomed and begins her journey toward becoming a courtesan. In the midst of serving monks and individuals with disabilities, Bella takes time to pursue her interest in studying medicine at the Anatomical Theater. During one of her visits, she encounters Duncan, who tearfully pleads for her to come back to him, but Bella firmly rejects him. Meanwhile, in London, Godwin requests Max to perform surgery on him. Upon examination, Max discovers that Godwin has an inoperable tumor. Realizing his time is limited, Godwin asks Max to find Bella. Max's search leads him to Duncan, who, after a brief speech claiming Bella is the embodiment of evil, reveals her whereabouts to Max. Upon receiving the letter, Bella rushes back to London. She immediately confronts Godwin, demanding answers about her C-section and the whereabouts of her baby. Godwin confesses to what he did to her body and her baby that day. This revelation throws Bella into an existential crisis, but Max proposes to her, bringing her out of it. A few days later, Godwin accompanies Bella down the aisle as she prepares to marry Max. However, their ceremony is interrupted by a man claiming to be General Alfie, who declares that Bella is his wife, Victoria Blessington. He insists that Bella stop playing games and come back home, and Bella, resolved to uncover her past life, agrees. The oddness begins during the drive to the house, as the general brandishes a gun, fearing that the servants might revolt at any moment. During dinner, the general discloses that they both shared a penchant for cruelty, but Victoria despised the child she was carrying for him. Upon discovering Bella's past as a prostitute, he remarks on her supposedly insatiable libido, but assures her he will soon address it. The next day, Bella overhears the general speaking with the doctor, revealing their intention to sedate her and perform circumcision. This horrifies Bella, prompting her to confront Alfie and announce her departure. However, Alfie threatens her with a gun and insists she drink a cocktail of gin and sleeping pills. Bella retaliates by throwing the drink into Alfie's face and seizing his gun. Startled, Alfie accidentally shoots himself in the leg before succumbing to unconsciousness from the effects of the sleeping pills. Bella brings the wounded Alfie to Max and pleads for his help. Max successfully removes the bullet and tends to Alfie's wounds, but Bella then retrieves Godwin's old medical notes, indicating the procedure isn't finished yet. Returning to the doctor's room, she lies down beside Godwin, who bids her farewell with a kiss on her forehead before passing away. In the final scene, Bella rests in the garden while the maid plays with Felicity, whose motor skills are finally developing. Their tranquility is momentarily disrupted by the sound of Alfie, now with the mind of a goat, bleating loudly as he peacefully grazes on the grass, no longer posing a threat to anyone. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.